Hola, good afternoon. Good to be back with you again. This is the 5th in the series on Kundalini. Let me maybe approach it this way this time. I usually call it a unifying field of energy, which it is. But think of the Kundalini force as el natural. In other words, something that is actually a natural process within you that opens up through the process oftentimes through meditation, yoga, movement, desire, so on. Nothing to do with religion, by the way. Has nothing to do with gurus. And I'm not saying that gurus and some of them don't have some value to teach and bring about. That's not what I'm getting at. But I'm saying this is not religious based. This is a basis of spirit. This is a basis of evolution. This is a basis of coming awake. In other words, through this energy, through this unifying field of energy, we become more aware, more conscious in that sense. Wow, what a wonderful idea. I've said in some of the other videos that it is a process of going sane, and indeed it is, because as we become more awake, we become aware of those things that are dysfunctional in our belief systems. Much of our belief system is dysfunctional, and I'm generalizing, obviously. Why is it dysfunctional? Well, just take a look. We have war, we have an environment that we're tearing down, we have an environment that we're literally shitting in our own backyard. So our belief systems are dysfunctional. The more we become aware that many of our beliefs, much of our thinking is dysfunctional, we can move it out of the way and begin to create a greater unified field that encompasses everything. Encompasses the animals, encompasses the plants, encompasses the very air that we breathe. In other words, we let the animals out of the zoo. Wow, what a strange idea to stop actually jailing the species around us. All right. Let's go into it a little bit more in some other ways. Many years ago, during the years that I was teaching meditation and biofeedback and a whole number of other things, we also used to touch on the manifestation of money, abundance, prosperity, so on. In other words, do ideas like this thing that came out not too long ago, the movie The Secret, or the man who talks about the millionaire mind, all of it. Does those things work? Yes, they do. Because we manifest through our belief systems, through the way that we think and feel. Now, but most of those belief systems, or many of them, really are only half the truth, because they do not have a basis behind them that encompasses everything. In other words, do I have a belief system of manifestation that is nothing but more consumption? Consumption of the environment, consumption of the actual real riches of the earth that feeds every one of us. Does my belief system include the people in China, the people in Thailand, the people in the Amazon? In other words, my mahogany dashboard. Oh, wow. Another big trophy house and so on. Much of these belief systems are based on fear of being without. So we try to consume and have as much as possible in order to get a feeling of safety. And believe me when I tell you, it does not work. So when we can create a value system that encompasses all of life, it helps that Kundalini experience and that flow of energy coming through us to become much gentler, much easier. I didn't say easy, because it is not an easy process, because in the process of opening up, you and I are confronting our belief systems, literally having to take a look at them, and you should. Why do I believe this? Who taught me that? Why did they believe it? Does this belief system work for the whole of life, including myself? All right, let's touch on one of the major belief systems that gets in the way of this unifying field of energy. And that is guilt. Guilt for what? Guilt for being alive. Many of us were taught guilty to be alive. We were born with some kind of sin. We were born wrong, that we have to eliminate, that we have to get rid of. In other words, we were born with the idea that there was something wrong with me to begin with. Now what does that cause? That causes me to look over my shoulder. Something must be after me. Something must be wrong with me. Oh, wow! Ah! So we live in a sense of guilt. We have other kinds of guilt. We have guilt about our sexuality, about our sexual preference, and so forth. Again, that has been taught to us. El natural has been twisted, has been turned into something grotesque in many ways. Much of the underlying systems about belief system is really what perpetuates things like pornography, perpetuates rape, and many of these other things. These good people who teach us much of this have created more problems for humanity than they might even imagine. But we're not going to get into that today. We have guilt sometimes for having money, because we are wealthy, because we are abundant. It has nothing to do with anything. That guilt, again, is taught. Again, ask yourself, where did I get this particular belief that I have to be a particular way? Guilt about being good-looking. Guilt about not being so good-looking. Many of the magazines and the advertisements that you see in Harper's Bazaar, Gentleman's Quarterly, etc., so on, many of the advertising keep you ugly. Yes, they are programmed to keep you ugly so that you can continually look for something that makes you look good. Like this new cosmetic, this new thing, this new that, this new house, this new car, and so forth. We have become crazy. Recently, we trample people in order to get into the buying store, don't we? Yes, we do. Again, because we have been taught beliefs that are dysfunctional. There is nothing wrong with human beings. Let me say that again. There is nothing wrong with us as being human beings. Nothing. But many of the beliefs that we have adopted, that we have taken in, do not function well within the reality system of which we live. All right, back in 1980, I produced a book which was called A Seeker's Journal. Due to my experience of opening of Kundalini in 1977. So it's been about 40 years. I've just reproduced the book. Not only is it available in paperback, but it's also available in an ebook on my website, which is called coolzenhealing.com. The ebook is very inexpensive. And by the way, this does help to support me. This helps to do videos. This helps for me to be able to go around and give talks and talk about this process and so on. Helps me to live my life. So there, again, abundance is a natural thing, but how are we using it? And by the way, also, if you like this program, if you like some of the things that I have been saying, give it a rating, because that rating helps it to be seen by more people. Again, good to have been with you. Enjoy. Take care. Dino Delano.